The Xbox ROG Ally X here has everything going for it. Perfect timing, great partnership between Microsoft and Asus, a solid hardware foundation. So why does it feel like a missed opportunity? These are the 5 things that honestly baffle me about this console. And we start with the display. It's still the same display that we have here. And in fact, it's the same display that we've had from the first OG Ally here to the ROG Ally X to here on the Xbox Ally X. And don't get me wrong, the display is not anything bad, but at this stage, I'm kind of just expecting something better, if you get what I mean. And while 7 inches seemed like a lot when the first Ally first came out, and it was, right now we've had so many iterations, at least this is the 3rd iteration of the same hardware, and it just felt like we're just getting a rehash of the same things. Now this is not all bad though. I understand maybe probably due to cost, because you increase the price of the display here, you probably have to increase the price of the overall device, and it's probably why they've been able to keep the Xbox Ally here at almost similar prices to the entry prices that have come before it. But there's still a part of me that wished that even if this did not get an OLED display, which I really like the one on the Legion Go 2 is really getting into my eyes. But even if we didn't get that, but at least maybe we even got something like a bigger screen, that would have really helped. But it just seemed like more of the same. Moving on next to buttons, and on the OG Ally, we've had the same kind of button layouts here, which is your start and select button, your ROG Armory Crate overlay, and your Armory Crate button here. Same thing was maintained when it upgraded to the Ally X right here, which has the same button layout. And with this new partnership with Microsoft, they actually now have the Xbox button here. And in theory, the Xbox button sounds nice, but in practice, it's a little bit all over the place. Let me explain. Now on the Ally X right here, my memory was used to having the start button here, but every single time on the Xbox Ally, I keep pressing this button and it keeps bringing me back into the library interface, which is very annoying, especially in games where I think I'm going to press start, but then it just kicks me back here and then it doesn't pause some of the games. So I then have to quickly hurry back, press and hold this Xbox button here to bring up this app switcher, then switch back into the game. And that's my second gripe here, is that this Xbox button, I think it duplicates the function. What do I mean? I mean that we already have a Armory Crate overlay button here, right? So if you press it, it brings up the Armory Crate overlay, which is all great, except when you press the Xbox button right here, it's just one tab away from the Armory Crate button, which makes no sense, because then I could just quickly tab into that. I don't need a whole other button to bring up a function that is literally in the next tab. It's so counterintuitive, and I think the Xbox button here is a huge missed opportunity, primarily because most of the time what I actually want my Xbox button to do is either to bring me back into the interface. So what the library button does, I would have imagined it's the Xbox button that does it, which just brings me here, or I would imagine it and it allows me to switch between the apps that I want to use by pressing it, but not by pressing and holding it. What I mean is, when I want to switch between apps right now, I have to press and hold on the Xbox button right there to bring it up. Why should I do that? Instead, so I have remapped this M1 button right here on my right hand here, where if I press it, look at that, it brings up that. Now imagine that was the Xbox button. This would be a whole lot more convenient. And of course, there's all these gestures right here, but I'm not going to remember to do them. You swipe from the left, you swipe from the right. When I'm gaming or when I want to switch between apps, I can definitely tell you that my behavior is not to use the gestures on screen. So I practically do not use that. So there are many ways to do the same thing, and I just feel like it's not as streamlined, and the Xbox button just feels like something that was tacked on and not something that was actually pretty developed in the way that gamers actually operate. So let me know if you are someone who will use this Xbox button, or if you've gotten your Ally X, do you think this is the right way to do it, or am I just tripping here? Let me know in the comments down there below. Now going on to the third thing that I dislike here is about how this is actually not as big of an improvement as I would like. So what I mean is, while I did notice improvements in gameplay between lower TDP, so when I'm, let's say, on the 13 watts or the 17 watts here on the Xbox Ally X, I definitely noticed better performance versus, let's say, my Ally X right here, which this felt more like something I needed to plug in, if you feel what I mean, right? So at lower TDPs, absolutely the Xbox Ally X dominates, but at higher TDPs, it did not feel like a generational upgrade or an evolutionary upgrade. It felt more of like something that is just, good enough, 10-20%. And I feel for $1,000 that this is going to come in at, maybe it should be a little bit more than good enough. And again, maybe I'm just nitpicking here, but it just is not as exciting. And if you're someone who has the Ally X, for example, will I suggest you upgrade? Probably not, especially if you're not someone who is planning to game on the go. If you're just plugged in most of the time anyway, you can get a grip for the ROG Ally X right here, and you can be able to like just have better ergonomics, which you will need for this first 2 iterations right here. But other than that, I would say there's not a lot more difference. It doesn't feel like a huge gap in the Z2 Extreme and Z1 Extreme, and you wouldn't be losing much if you decided not to upgrade. Now, my next gripe here is for the port placement, specifically just the USB-C port. Now, when we first had the first OG Ally right here, it only came with that one USB-C port and that XG mobile proprietary dock, which I do have and I do use. But that meant that you couldn't really upgrade the graphics on this except you used Asus's really, really pricey XG mobile dock. So thankfully they changed that in the ROG Ally X right here. So now on the Ally X, you get 2 ports, but the complaint I had then was that the 2 ports are literally clustered next to each other, and I wished that we actually had one on the bottom, because there are many times when I'm gaming, especially at night, I want to have the ability to just have the cable from the bottom and not one cable that is at the top and then just awkwardly dangling over my blanket and to my side. I felt it very uncomfortable, and sadly the port placement is the same here on the Xbox Ally X, where it's still at the top. Both of them are still at the top, and in fact, one thing I noticed was that it's a little pushed to the side. Oh no, it's the same as the side. I thought it was pushed a little bit more to the side, unlike the OG Ally there. But yeah, I just wish that one of this was actually situated down to the bottom, which means that I will probably be able to then, like the Legion Go or the MSI, I believe the MSI, I'm not sure, I would have to double check on that. I'll be able to just use one at the top, use one at the bottom. I would have really, really wished for that. And we don't get that here on the Xbox Ally X. And the final thing here is that this just felt like a safe upgrade for Asus to make. So I remember watching that first video where they previewed this, and it was very disappointing from just a design point of view, because I felt that with Microsoft's backing, they're going to radically do something different. And they did. They put this ugly controller thing here. Now, if you go and watch my top 5 things I love about this Xbox Ally X, you will know that I actually like the grip, and it's actually way more comfortable. So this is definitely just a aesthetic nitpick that I have for the Xbox Ally X right here. But I still have that nitpick nonetheless, is that it felt just like very safe. It felt something like something that was designed on the spreadsheet, as opposed to something that is designed with some major upgrades in mind. And maybe the product category, in Asus's opinion, is just not mature enough for them to make such a drastic change. But I would have wished for a better display. So maybe an OLED, even if it's not like 8 inches or even bigger. And the next thing would be like, I would wish that something like this was bigger. I would wish for, I don't know, maybe 32 gigs of RAM, though to be honest, there's no complaints there about the 24 gigs. So maybe this part is like a really, really big nitpick, but it just feels overall like a safe thing. Now, safe is not necessarily bad. I'll tell you that for sure. I enjoy playing games on this, and I think even not for the first time, I play game on this like for hours on end. I would say 6 hours, 7 hours on end, and I'm so comfortable. I don't, in fact, leave it. And that was the story of like my entire review experience, right? So I wouldn't say it's negative what they've done, but it just felt safe, and it just felt way more calculated. And maybe for me, for my expectations, for sure, I definitely was expecting something a bit out of the ordinary. And there you have it. Those are some of the things that I do not like about the Asus Microsoft Xbox ROG Ally X right here. Now, this, of course, is a fantastic piece of technology. Don't let this fool you. I'm not overly negative about this. It's just that I made, the things I like about this device. I kind of felt there was a balance where I needed decided to also make some things that I did not like, because it's not everything that you will like very equally here as well. But yeah, there you have it. Let me know some of the thoughts you have in the comment section down there below. Do you like this console? Do you not like this console? And what are the things you like? What are the things you do not like? Go check out my other videos I've made about the Xbox Ally X. And most importantly, I think the core part of any handheld you buy, if you've already bought this, is like just play games, man. Like, just enjoy the games you play, because that's actually the most important thing. And I've been your Captain of Awesome. Thank you so much for watching all the way. This is Geekception. If you like what I do here, please consider becoming a member here on YouTube, or even supporting me on Patreon, buying me a coffee, as that really helps me go a long way in making all the things I make here. But even more than that, please take care of yourself. Text me when you get home so I know you got home safe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget to stay awesome. Bye. And thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. And this is my third video on the Xbox Ally X. And since you made it all the way to the end, I really appreciate you. And I'll let you in here. I just ordered literally the Lenovo Legion Go 2, which I'm so excited about, because I will then get to be able to use it as someone who has been in the sort of ROG and now Xbox ecosystem. And also I'm excited for that OLED screen, for the bigger display, for just a different experience, and just to even see how I'm going to feel about it. And yeah, this is something that definitely gets my gear turning. And again, you get all of this because you made it here, and I appreciate you. So enough of me yapping here. There's never going to be enough of me yapping. This is literally my yapping channel. But how about you? What are some of the things you're excited about? What are the things you're watching right now that you want to share with me? I would love to find out. So please let me know in the comments, and leave hashtag Legion Go 2, so I know that you and I know that I'm getting the Legion Go 2, but nobody else knows. And yeah, it's just going to be our little secret until the video eventually comes out. So but please, until then, make sure you take care of yourself. All right, bye.